How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan, and this is Ade, and here we go with another edition of Box Talk. Today, the controversial Pacquiao winners, Bradley versus Marquez. Bradley got a funny decision over Pacquiao last year. A beefed up Marquez stopped Pacquiao last year. Now they face each other. Ade, what do you think, mate?
I think it's a good matchup, first of all. It's a very, very good matchup. Top Rank haven't got many fighters left.
Yeah.
But the two that they have got, and these two are fighters. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
They might not get no popularity votes. They might not sell millions and millions and millions of pay-per-view buys. But both these guys can box.
Yeah. Let's look at
Both
these two fighters are both ranked in most probably everyone's top 10 pound for pound.
Yes.
They both got the wins over Pacquiao. They're both seasoned pros. They've both been through the windmill of fighters. They've been through every fight in the division that you could mention. They fought 80% of them. I mean, you look at Marquez, who's a smaller guy coming up, bona fide Hall of Famer, multiple time world champion, facing two-weight world champion, who's carving out his legacy of his own right now. I mean, people are saying that Mark Bradley's a good opponent for Mayweather if they were on different sides of the board with Top Rank and Golden Boy. I mean, when you're talking at that level, I mean, this is a serious fight.
It is. Marquez just seems to find a way.
Yeah.
There's something about Marquez. He seems to find a way to win. And I don't know if Bradley does yet. Yeah. Bradley shouldn't have won the Pacquiao fight. Everyone says that. And then he fought I can't remember the guy's name.
Ruslan Provodnikov.
Yeah. A tough fight. Could have lost that fight as well. Yeah. Marquez is a better boxer than both of them. Yeah. Better boxer than Pacquiao, by the way. Hands down. Finds a way to win. I just feel like Pacquiao's a small welterweight. Yeah. They fought at like 144, 145. Bradley, although he might not be a big puncher, probably walks around at 160. He's a big welterweight. He's going to come down. Will size play a difference in this fight? Will age play a difference? Marquez must be about 51 now. What is he, 39, 38?
39.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, yeah. Marquez, take Marquez's skill set is unbelievable. Yeah, it's a tremendous fight. Anyway, Marquez has the ability, though, to adjust on the fly and change things. If you look at his fights, yeah, especially early in fight, he seems to be losing 2, 3, 4 rounds. Yeah, and that's a good example when he fought
Juan Diaz.
Yeah. I mean, he's losing these fights, and then he just adjusts and changes up the game completely. Yeah. It's like he widens his stance, he puts his hands in different positions, he does certain things, and then he just starts outboxing the crap out of guys and beating them up. I mean,
all 4 Pacquiao fights with Marquez. Pacquiao is destroying this guy from rounds 1 to 4.
Yeah.
And then he seems to find he just seems to find a way of adjusting. Yeah. And I feel like not many fighters can do that. No. That only comes from experience. Not many fighters, and it comes from fighting guys that he's fought.
I think there's only maybe 3 or 4 fighters in the world of our generation that can actually do that. Yeah. And if you're looking at those 3 fighters, they are like we all know who they are. These are the best fighters in the sport right now. I mean, it's very, very, very hard. I mean, not criticising Andre Ward, but Andre Ward's a pound for pound number 2. We ain't seen him adjust yet on the fly because he hasn't had that opportunity yet. Yeah. But I mean, it's only the very highest caliber fighters that could do that type of stuff. I mean,
he done it against Katidas as well. Mm-hmm. The thing as well, and this is the added equation now. Again, it's controversial, whatever, we don't know. He's looking fantastic. This is the thing about Marquez now. So before he was a great boxer, and we say he could adjust. He had all those already. He's had those since he was a young fighter. He's had that. Now he's got the power and he's got the strength, and he looks like he's got the power and the strength. When you put Pacquiao on his backside, and not just put him on his backside, put him on his front side, and he doesn't get up from it, you've got serious power. So it's not just a case of this guy's going to adjust now. This guy can also bang. That makes it a more difficult fight for Bradley.
Yeah. Another thing as well about Marquez, which I think is very interesting, people forget that in that first fight, Pacquiao dropped him like 3 times in the first round, and this guy still got put on ground and split decision. If Pacquiao drops anyone 3 times, the fight's over.
So that means he can take a punch as well.
I mean, he could take a punch and still adjust and fight for another 11 rounds on, and that's something that again, very admirable as a fighter. But I mean, he is really the elite of the elite.
For me, though, what it is that Pacquiao's not a welterweight. We all know that. Pacquiao's a small weight. Marquez is not a welterweight either. Bradley now is a welterweight. He's had a couple of fights in the division as a welterweight. I would have liked to have seen Marquez fight someone who was a genuine welterweight first. Yeah. He's had a couple of catchweight fights. Yeah. Mayweather obviously was a catchweight fight as well. That was when he was coming up. I just
There's a couple of fights in Mexico we had.
Yeah, he had a couple of fights in Mexico. I just feel like I don't know. It's a tough fight to call. It really is. I'm really on the fence with this fight. I don't know.
Let's look at Bradley.
Yeah,
he's a tremendous boxer. Don't have no power, but he's tough and he's tenacious. Yeah. If you hit him, he wants to hit you back.
Again, finds a way to win.
Yeah, he finds a way to win. He wants to fight. And, he fought that fight with Provodnikov, trying to prove the Pacquiao fight weren't a fluke. And yes, he hurt himself in that fight. And I think whereas he tried to fight too much, got dropped, got buzzed, but still grinded out a decision. I mean, the way he got dropped and the way he got buzzed in that fight and the way he came back, similar to Marquez. Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a brick to stop this guy. Yeah. And if you're not hearing about Ruslan Provodnikov, watch Friday Night Fights, yeah? I think he's got like a season of Friday Night Fights, so some great fights in there. Yeah. Tough, hard as nails, grinder. I mean, watch his fights and you see what I'm talking about. This guy does not quit. He pushed Bradley, but Bradley's pushed back. Yeah.
Now, you know, that's why when we first started the video, it's a great matchup. It's a great matchup. Because both these guys has their positives, and their positives seem to be exactly the same. That these guys all seem to find a way to win. They seem to find a way to adjust. But they're also very vulnerable. Yeah. Both of these guys have been hurt. Both of these guys have been on their backside. So that's what makes it exciting as well. We're not talking about two granite chin guys here. We're talking about guys that do get hurt, but do find a way to adjust. It's just, to me, it's just a case of who adjusts better. And I think the experience of Marquez adjusts better. But maybe we're wrong. Maybe it's just Marquez has this thing of a Pacquiao. Yeah. And we're almost judging it on the Pacquiao thing he has. But I don't know. I can't call it.
Let's look at another angle of the fight. And I don't want to be negative here, but again, you've already mentioned Pacquiao, Marquez's body structure, and we've done a video before mentioning about how grown Marquez is nowadays. But also look at Bradley. If you look at their Facebook video, Bradley was saying that he had headaches and he was fizzy for that 2 months after Provodnikov fight, and saying that he's willing to die in the ring to get to the victory and everything, and he put himself through a lot. Are these guys, I mean, is it a good thing to be that badly hurt and to admit it and then to fight in these type of fights, considering Marquez's new punch power?
You know what it is? I think boxing's almost come to this, they're almost trying to be too macho sometimes. And it's almost to their detriment, where they always seem to say, I'm willing to die in the ring, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to do that. What? What are you? Come on, people. Relax yourself. This is boxing. It's a sport. Yeah. That's what it is. We're not talking gladiatorial things. This isn't war. It's a sport. That's what I think they've got almost get back to that stage now, willing to die in the ring and all that kind of stuff. No, stop it.
I'm just concerned that Bradley said he felt like he had neurological problems after the fight, and then going to fight this fight after what Marquez has done, and then all that type of talk.
It makes you feel. What do you mean after what Marquez done? What do you mean?
Marquez done not Pacquiao.
Oh, I thought you meant okay. I thought you were trying to say something else there.
What I'm saying is that I'm just, I'm looking at it, I'm like, is Bradley's head in the game?
His head's definitely in the game. And I think the reason I think Bradley's head's in the game is, unlike Marquez, Bradley's not 38, 39 years old. Unlike Marquez, I think, if Marquez wins, this is it, again. Let's talk about what happens if whoever wins. If Marquez wins, the 147 division is full of monsters, big monsters. Yeah. I don't know where he goes from here because of his age. If Bradley wins, to me it opens up for a whole another who can Bradley fight. And again, we talk about the promotional camps. Mayweather doesn't have an opponent, to me, a legitimate opponent for May 5th yet. Yeah. Who knows? If Bradley wins convincingly, could they get on the table and try and patch things up to make a fight? Because right now, Mayweather has no one, as far as I'm concerned. No one legitimately that deserves it.
I tell you what, Marquez has got this thing about him, whereas he's mentioned now that he can retire. He said he wins this fight, he might retire. And that might be the best thing for him, After the controversial Pacquiao defeats, now he's got the Pacquiao win, he beats Marquez, so he beats Bradley, goes up in the sunset. I mean, he's not broke, he's going to the Hall of Fame, he's got multiple world titles. He wins this fight, that's it for him. And I think that might be the best thing, considering he's 39 years old, been through a lot of tough, hard, grinding fights. Like I said, it's better for the sport if Bradley wins. But it's a big if.
You know the thing is, he doesn't go off into the sunset if he wins. No boxer does that. Hopkins is supposed to do that with Tava. Hopkins is supposed to do that with Pavlik. Every fighter, if he wins that, they're going to... Again, if he beats Bradley, who, by most people's recognition, is top 5 pound-for-pound fighter, top 10 definitely, they're going to say, you've beaten the top 10, top 5 pound-for-pound guy. Why go off into the sunset? There's bigger fights out there. A lot of these fighters don't know how to turn down millions of dollars, and you cannot blame them. He beats Bradley. They might be talking about a Pacquiao rematch again. It could open up a Mayweather rematch again. Millions of dollars of fights out there. I don't think he just rides off into the sunset with his Coco Cabana, his hat, and to Mexico.
I think if he does that, I think it'll be a nice story. I think it'll be a good one.
I'd love him to.
Call it a day. If Bradley wins, like you said, open up the division, everyone's going to ask for the Mayweather fight, which, again, I don't see that fight happening due to promotional conflicts. But where does Bradley go if he wins? Who's he going to fight at 147?
I'd love him to
Adrian
fight.
Broner?
Why are you steal my thunder? I was just about to say Adrian Broner. Yeah. I would love him to fight Adrian Broner. I don't know why. Because Adrian Broner is one of the people that, even a Robert Guerrero. I think there's good fights out there. The Guerrero's a good fight for me with him. I like to see Guerrero. Andre Berto doesn't deserve a title shot. But I want to see Andre Berto have one more chance against someone. Again, just one more.
You don't
like him?
No, I like Berto. I always like Berto, but I think Berto shouldn't be fighting none of these top elite guys right now.
The weirdest thing is, the weirdest thing is, I mean, a lot of people say it now. Bradley, they say, avoided a certain Mr. Amir Khan at 140.
Yeah.
Amir Khan's now stepping up to 147. He's going to put his name straight in there. Yeah. Amir Khan doesn't seem to be afraid of Bradley at all for some reason. Yeah. It's not a name that's been mentioned because they're different weights, but now Amir Khan's definitely stepping up. Yeah. If Amir Khan does fight Devin Alexander in December and beats him, you never know.
I saw a picture of Amir Khan and Bradley at one of the fights in Vegas, and Bradley seemed like a fan. Like that big smile on his face, shaking his hand.
I saw that.
I thought, for guys that talked a lot of smack in media, and the way it didn't seem like Khan kind of felt like he was the bigger man. I felt, that's the impression I got.
You know why? Because Khan, aside from maybe the top 5 boxers, Cotto, Pacquiao, Alvarez, Mayweather, Khan's probably one of the biggest cash cows at that 147 division. Yeah. He seems to be making the most. Everyone seems to want to fight Khan. Yeah. Similar to the Mayweather thing, not because they can beat him, which they probably can, because they know it's a good payday. Yeah. And I think a lot of people say whatever they want to say behind closed doors, but as soon as they see Khan, hey Khan, fight me, man. I can't remember what it was, but I think before Khan went on his losing streak, his new contract with Golden Boy was like a guaranteed 2.4 million, 2.5 million, and that was just a guarantee, like his base rate. Yeah. I mean, for a standard fighter in America, that's really, really high. I mean, at the time, Khan was just making his break in America. Obviously, he had his losses now, so it's mostly dropped. But Khan was a big dog then. All right. Anyway, let's get off subject. Who wins? It's a tough one to call, honestly and truly. I can see Marquez stealing it. I could definitely see Marquez stealing it. But I've seen him typically the way he adjusts in rounds and the way he adjusts in fight. But I think Bradley's going to bring some. I think Youth's going to be served this time. I think. Well, you kind of contradict yourself there. So you see Marquez stealing it, but you also see Bradley. I can see Marquez stealing it, but it's one of the situations there where I think Marquez kind of had his shine now. He got Pacquiao. That's what he wanted to do. Yeah. He talked about retiring. Yeah. I think he sees the sunset ahead of him. Pacquiao was like the itch on his back, and he's finally got the itch. And for him, it's over now. Like the hunger's done. I think for him, not in a negative way, but I think that's what he really wanted to do. I think Bradley, he's still got the hunger. I think he's still got the hunger. He's not got the credit he deserves from the Pacquiao fight because only him and his mum thought he won the fight. So he wants to prove. And beating Marquez, saying, I beat Pacquiao, I beat Marquez, and that's going to push him. I see it being close because unless you're Floyd Mayweather, you're not going to outbox Marquez. But it'll be close, but I'm going for Bradley. Okay, I'm going to go against Ryan just because that's what I do. And I'm going to go for Marquez decision. Could be a split. And the reason I'm going to go for Marquez is similar to what Ryan said there. He just finds a way of adjusting for me. And I think Bradley's last 2 performances haven't been great. He stepped up against opposition, big welterweight guys, and he hasn't done well. Whereas Marquez just seems to find a way all the time. Minus the Mayweather, which is no shame, because Mayweather tried to make him go up like 20 pounds to fight him. Minus that, he finds a way. I agree, but I understand your point. Like I said, Marquez is the great, but I think the Pacquiao thing was a big thing. I mean, normally you have a trilogy. These guys had 4 fights. Marquez wanted to prove his point, you know what I mean? He wanted it, and that's the thing that kept him in the game, I think. You know what I mean? If you look at it, Marquez has followed Pacquiao up 3 weight classes. He's been following the guy because he wants to prove his point. That was his goal. Now that goal's over. What, the show's over? Yeah. That wasn't rehearsed. That sounded quite good, but it wasn't rehearsed. That's just how good, naturally good we are. But guys, leave in the comments below, what do you think? Crossroads fight, is it really? Or is it a case of Bradley is the future of the welterweight division and the once king of 4 weight divisions now sort of rides off into the sunset. I still think Marquez has got a bit more to offer in this game. I think there's huge fights in 147 for him. Or does he need to go back down to 140 and fight? But guys, leave your comments below. Who wins this fight? Could be fight of the year, this one. Timothy Bradley or Mr. Juan Marquez? Email us at
BoxTalk@hotmail.co.uk.
Thanks guys for tuning in for another edition of Box Talk.